Tonight, we delve into a time shrouded in mystery and fear, the witching hour. Why should you never stay up during this sinister time? Prepare yourselves for chilling tales, eerie facts, and the spine-tingling truth behind the witching hour. The witching hour, traditionally believed to occur between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m., is said to be the time when the veil between our world and the supernatural is at its thinnest. This period has long been associated with eerie phenomena, paranormal activities, and inexplicable events. The origins of the witching hour date back centuries, rooted in folklore and superstition. It's the time when witches, demons, and ghosts are believed to be most powerful. But why is this hour so dreaded? Let's explore the chilling reasons. During the 16th and 17th centuries, the fear of witches and witchcraft was at its peak. People believed that witches would meet at this hour to cast spells and commune with the devil. This belief was so strong that many accused witches were tortured and executed based on the mere suspicion of nocturnal activities. But it's not just folklore. Science and psychology also have intriguing theories about the witching hour. Between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m., our bodies are in their deepest sleep cycle, and any disturbance during this time can lead to heightened anxiety and fear. It's also when our body temperature drops and our blood pressure lowers, making us more vulnerable. Sleep researchers have found that the human brain is more likely to experience vivid dreams and nightmares during this time. The combination of physical vulnerability and vivid dreaming can create a perfect storm for eerie experiences. Have you ever woken up suddenly at 3 a.m. feeling an inexplicable sense of dread? You are not alone. Many people report waking up during the witching hour, often feeling watched or sensing a presence in the room. These experiences are unsettling, to say the least. But what if these feelings are more than just tricks of the mind? Let's dive into some real-life accounts of the witching hour. Our first story comes from a woman named Sarah, who had a terrifying experience she will never forget. Sarah had always been a night owl, often staying up late to read or watch TV. One night, as she was about to drift off to sleep, she glanced at the clock. It was exactly 3 a.m. Suddenly, she felt a cold breeze brush past her, even though all the windows were closed. She felt an overwhelming sense of dread and noticed a dark shadow in the corner of her room. The shadow seemed to grow larger and closer. Paralyzed with fear, Sarah couldn't move or scream. Just as quickly as it appeared, the shadow vanished, leaving her shaking and in tears. Sarah's experience is not unique. Many people have reported similar encounters with shadows, whispers, and cold spots during the witching hour. These stories make one wonder if there truly is something supernatural about this time. Our next story takes us to a small town in England, where a family experienced a series of unexplained events at 3 a.m. The Johnson family moved into a charming old house, unaware of its dark history. Almost immediately, strange things began to happen. Doors would creak open on their own, and footsteps echoed in the hallways at night. The most terrifying incidents, however, occurred during the witching hour. Mr. Johnson often woke up at 3 a.m. to the sound of soft singing. One night, he decided to investigate. As he reached the hallway, he saw the figure of a young girl in a white dress, singing a lullaby. When he called out to her, she turned and vanished. The family later learned that a young girl had tragically died in the house many years ago. Her spirit, they believed, remained, reliving her final moments every night during the witching hour. Disturbing as these stories are, they beg the question, are these experiences products of overactive imaginations, or is there something genuinely supernatural about the witching hour? While skeptics argue that these occurrences can be explained by natural phenomena or psychological factors, paranormal investigators insist that the witching hour holds a special significance. Paranormal experts believe that during this time, spiritual energies are more active and can interact with our world. EMF detectors and thermal cameras have recorded inexplicable fluctuations and apparitions during these hours. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, the witching hour remains a time steeped in mystery and fear. Its impact on our minds and bodies cannot be denied, and the countless reports of eerie experiences only add to its chilling reputation. So, why should you never stay up during the witching hour? The answer lies in the combination of psychological, physiological, and possibly supernatural factors that make this time particularly unsettling. Staying up late, especially during the witching hour, can disrupt your sleep cycle, leading to increased stress and anxiety. The mind, already susceptible to fear and paranoia in the dark, can conjure up terrifying visions and sensations. And if the stories of those who have experienced paranormal phenomena are to be believed, staying up during the witching hour might also expose you to encounters with the unknown. Let's delve deeper into some of the most infamous haunted locations that are said to come alive during the witching hour. Our first stop is the Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, a place with a dark history of torture and despair. Built in 1829, this penitentiary is notorious for its harsh conditions and the numerous reports of ghostly sightings and eerie sounds. Many visitors and paranormal investigators have experienced unexplained phenomena during the witching hour, from disembodied voices to shadowy figures moving through the cells. One investigator, John, recounts his spine-chilling experience. As he walked through cell block 12 at 3 a.m., he heard the unmistakable sound of footsteps behind him. Turning around, he saw a shadowy figure that seemed to float above the ground. The figure approached, and John felt an icy hand grip his shoulder before it disappeared. These types of encounters have led many to believe that the spirits of former inmates remain trapped, reliving their torment during the witching hour. Next, we visit the infamous Amityville house in Long Island, New York. The site of the gruesome DeFeo family murders in 1974, this house has been the center of numerous paranormal claims, particularly during the witching hour. The Lutz family, who moved in shortly after the murders, reported a series of terrifying events. At 3:15 a.m. each night, George Lutz would wake up to a feeling of intense dread. The Lutz family, who moved in shortly after the murders, reported a series of terrifying events. At 3:15 a.m. each night, George Lutz would wake up to a feeling of intense dread. The temperature in certain rooms would drop dramatically, and they heard disembodied voices and saw glowing eyes peering through the windows. During their 28-day stay in the house, the Lutz family experienced what they described as a relentless barrage of paranormal activity, culminating in their decision to flee the property in terror. The Amityville house continues to be a subject of debate among skeptics and believers alike, with some dismissing the claims as hoaxes while others insist that something malevolent lingers within its walls, particularly during the witching hour. These haunted locations serve as chilling reminders of the potential dangers associated with staying awake during the witching hour. But it's not just houses and buildings that are said to come alive during this time. Outdoor locations, such as graveyards and forests, also have their own unsettling stories. Graveyards, with their silent rows of tombstones and whispering trees, are often considered prime locations for supernatural activity. The witching hour is believed to be a time when spirits roam freely, making graveyards particularly eerie after dark. Paranormal investigators have captured numerous anomalies in graveyards during the witching hour, from orbs of light hovering over graves to unexplained mists and ghostly apparitions. One chilling account comes from a group of friends who decided to explore an abandoned graveyard one Halloween night. As the clock struck 3 a.m., they heard faint whispers and saw shadowy figures moving among the tombstones. Suddenly, one of them felt an icy hand on their shoulder and turned to see a spectral figure standing behind them. Terrified, they fled the graveyard, convinced they had encountered something supernatural. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the stories surrounding graveyards during the witching hour evoke a sense of unease and caution. Forests, too, have long been associated with mystery and the supernatural. During the witching hour, these dense, shadowy landscapes take on an even more ominous atmosphere. Paranormal researchers often venture into these forests at night, armed with cameras, EMF detectors, and voice recorders to capture evidence of paranormal activity. One such expedition led to the discovery of strange lights darting between trees and eerie voices calling out from the darkness. Despite thorough investigations, no logical explanation could be found for these phenomena. These unsettling encounters serve as a stark reminder of the unknown dangers that may lurk in the shadows during the witching hour. Beyond haunted locations and outdoor settings, Witching hour is also associated with a heightened risk of encountering supernatural entities in one's own home. Many people have reported strange occurrences during this time, from flickering lights and unexplained noises to the feeling of being watched by unseen eyes. Anecdotal evidence suggests that the witching hour may act as a catalyst for paranormal activity, triggering manifestations and disturbances within the home. During a paranormal investigation in a suburban home, investigators recorded EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, capturing voices whispering messages that seemed to respond to their questions. These recordings, along with other evidence such as temperature fluctuations and EMF spikes, provided compelling proof of paranormal activity during the witching hour. Such experiences underscore the importance of respecting the witching hour and taking precautions to ensure one's safety and well-being. But what about the psychological effects of staying awake during this ominous time? Research suggests that sleep deprivation, coupled with the eerie atmosphere of the witching hour, can have profound effects on the human mind. Studies have shown that prolonged wakefulness during the early hours of the morning can lead to heightened anxiety, hallucinations, and cognitive impairment. Combined with the psychological impact of hearing unsettling stories and experiencing strange phenomena, the witching hour can evoke a deep-seated fear that lingers long after the clock strikes dawn. Haunted by nightmares and plagued by the fear of the unknown, individuals who stay up during the witching hour may find themselves caught in a cycle of fear and sleeplessness. So, why should you never stay up during the witching hour? Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, the answer lies in the combination of physical vulnerability, psychological susceptibility, and the potential for encountering the unexplained. Tonight, as you lie in bed and the world outside grows still, remember the stories you've heard and the warnings they convey. Perhaps it's best to be safely tucked in bed before the clock strikes 3 a.m., leaving the witching hour to the shadows. Thank you for joining us on this eerie journey through the witching hour. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay updated with more dark secrets. Until next time, sleep tight and beware the witching hour.